Welcome back. In this video tutorial, we're going to show you how to use the text widget when designing a smartboard. So during the process of designing a smartboard page, you may want to place text on the screen. In order to do that, we're going to come up and click Add Widget, and then we're going to select our text widget. As soon as we do, a text box appears on the screen. Now, right now it's empty. It doesn't have any text in it. There are two ways that you can add text to the box. The first one is to come up here to the left-hand side where it says text, put your cursor in there, and simply type in a manual message. Once you do that, you can see that that text now appears in our widget. Now, how can we work with that text and change it and make it look the way that we want? Well, as long as our widget is highlighted, the left-hand side is a menu that's all about the text widget. So let's look first at the font size. We want to make it a little bigger, so we're going to put in 64 here. And you can see that our text got much larger at that point. You can then also choose from a font family. So we're going to click that, and you can see the selections that we have for various fonts that are available in our system. We'll go ahead and choose Roboto for this particular text. And we can change the color of it as well. Let's make it a nice bright blue. We can also make that text bold. We can make it italics. We can center the text on the widget. We can turn the text into a marquee, which means that the text will slowly scroll from right to left across the text box. And we can also use wrap text in the event that we're wanting to type in a paragraph of information that would allow the text to wrap just like it would in Word or in PowerPoint. Now, there's one other thing that you can do with a text box. Instead of placing manual text, now you noticed I typed in, "This is a test." I'm going to take that back out, and I'm just going to have my cursor placed inside the text box. Now, with our cursor placed in the text box, we can select from this little icon here of the alphabet, ABC, and that allows us to pull up a menu of field placeholders. Field placeholders give you the ability to put a placeholder in where live data from our server will then appear on the smartboard live. So let's say, for instance, that we wanted to put in the title of the last alert that we received. We can scroll down to Last Alert Title and click that, and you can see it puts a placeholder in here. Instead of putting the actual data, it simply puts a field placeholder, and now wherever that appears, the live data from our server will appear in place of that placeholder. This is how you get live data onto the screen of your smartboard. Now let's show a live demonstration of how we might use the text widget in real life. First, we're going to add a panel widget to act as a background for our text. So we're just going to create a panel widget here. I'm going to make it a white background. And then on top of that, I can add text. Now, the way that we layer one widget on top of another is we simply deselect this widget. By deselecting it, we now return our menu that allows us to add a new widget. So we're going to add a text widget next, and we're going to place that widget directly on top of that panel. Now, within that text widget, as for this purposes of this example, I'm simply going to put the last alert title, and I'm going to make it a little bigger. Then I'll deselect all my widgets and add a new text widget. Place that under this. Again, put my cursor in the text box and go to the field placeholder, and I'm going to get the last alert address. I'll change the font size to something a little bigger. And in this particular case, I'm going to change the color to red. Now you can see that I've got the latest alert displaying on top of this panel along with the address of that last alert. This is how you can place text on top of a panel to get the look that you want. Now, as an additional example, let's say we wanted to place a marquee across the bottom of the screen that displayed information from the station messages that are located on the server. We'll go ahead and remove these widgets, place a new panel widget, and that panel widget we're going to put across the bottom of the screen. We'll make it to the extent of the screen and we'll place it right at the bottom. And we're going to make that widget white. Now on top of that widget, we're going to add text. And we will reshape that text widget so that it fits neatly on top of our other panel. Now this time in the placeholder, we're going to choose station marquee messages. So down here, these are the texts, the messages that have been entered into the server for this particular station. So this will be a live placeholder, which will allow you to change those messages simply by using the entry in the administrative web portal. So we're going to go ahead and put marquee, and then we're going to set that text widget as a marquee widget so that it will scroll across the bottom of the screen. I'll make it a little bit larger. And I'm going to choose the font family Roboto. Now you can see that the messages that have been entered into the server for this particular station will scroll across the bottom of the screen. This is how you create a scrolling marquee and place it anywhere on your smartboard screen. You can have the scrolling marquee on as many screens as you want. You can also use it in the template.